The Battle of Myriokephalon, a tale of hope and defeat. In the late 12th century, the Byzantine Empire stood at a crossroads, once a formidable power that had spanned vast territories. The empire had faced numerous setbacks over the centuries, losing much of its lands in Anatolia to the encroaching Seljuk Turks. Yet, under the leadership of Emperor Manuel I Komnenos, there was a renewed sense of optimism and determination. Manuel, a warrior emperor, had restored some of the empire's former glory through diplomacy and military campaigns. His ambition was clear: to reclaim the lost lands of Anatolia and reassert Byzantine dominance in the region. In the summer of 1176, Emperor Manuel assembled one of the largest Byzantine armies in recent history. It was a grand and imposing force, comprising not only Byzantine soldiers but also mercenaries from Western Europe and allies from various parts of the empire. As they marched towards the heart of Anatolia, the air was thick with hope and anticipation. The soldiers sang songs of victory, and Manuel's banners fluttered proudly in the wind. The campaign aimed at striking a decisive blow against the Seljuk Sultanate of Rome, led by the astute and formidable Sultan Seljuk Turks. Manuel's strategy was bold: march through the challenging terrain of central Anatolia and lay siege to the Seljuk stronghold of Konya. The emperor hoped this audacious move would catch the Turks off guard, forcing them into a confrontation on his terms. However, the march through Anatolia was fraught with difficulties. The Byzantine army, laden with heavy baggage and siege equipment, moved slowly through the narrow and rocky passes of the region. The summer heat was relentless, sapping the energy of the soldiers and their horses. As they approached the mountainous terrain of Myriokephalon, an ominous sense of foreboding began to take hold. Sultan Seljuk Turks, well aware of the Byzantine advance, had not been idle. He had carefully chosen Myriokephalon, a narrow defile, as the site to confront Manuel's forces. The terrain favored the defenders, with steep cliffs and dense forests providing ample cover for ambushes. Seljuk Turks' troops, masters of guerrilla warfare, prepared to strike with deadly precision. On the morning of September 17, 1176, as the Byzantine army began its descent into the narrow valley, the Seljuks sprang their trap. Arrows rained down from the cliffs, and the sound of war cries echoed through the valley. The Byzantine vanguard, caught off guard, struggled to form defensive positions. Panic spread as confusion and chaos gripped the ranks. Emperor Manuel, realizing the gravity of the situation, tried to rally his troops. Mounted on his war horse, he rode through the ranks, shouting orders and urging his men to hold their ground. His presence inspired courage, but the terrain and the relentless Seljuk attacks made it difficult to organize an effective defense. The heavy Byzantine cavalry, which had been a cornerstone of their military might, found it nearly impossible to maneuver in the confined space. The Seljuk warriors, nimble and highly skilled in hit-and-run tactics, continued their assault with ruthless efficiency. The Byzantine forces were squeezed into the narrow pass, making them easy targets for the archers perched on the cliffs above. Manuel's carefully laid plans crumbled as the reality of the ambush set in. The empire's best and bravest were being cut down in a brutal, close-quarters struggle. After hours of fierce fighting, Manuel managed to extricate a portion of his forces from the deadly pass. The Byzantine army, battered and demoralized, retreated from Myriokephalon, although the Seljuks did not pursue them aggressively. The battle was a clear and humiliating defeat for the Byzantines. Manuel, wounded and weary, surveyed the remnants of his once proud army. The campaign to reclaim Anatolia had ended in disaster. The loss at Myriokephalon shattered the hope of recovering the lost territories, and it became a turning point in Byzantine history. The empire would never again mount a serious challenge to Turkish control of Anatolia. The Battle of Myriokephalon marked the end of Byzantine attempts to regain the heartland of Anatolia for Manuel I Komnenos. It was a personal and political blow from which he never fully recovered. The dream of a restored Byzantine Empire in the East faded, leaving a legacy of unfulfilled ambitions and shattered hopes. Historians would look back on Myriokephalon as a poignant reminder of the empire's vulnerability and the shifting tides of power in the medieval world. It was a story of bravery and hubris, of strategic miscalculations and the harsh realities of war. The narrow pass of Myriokephalon, once a place of high hopes, became a somber symbol of the empire's decline.